Hey, what up? This is your boy, the Solo Traveler, ORD. Thanks again for checking out another one of my videos. Please like, subscribe, and share. So I've received a couple requests for me to create this video. So I wanted to make a video about the process of getting married in Colombia, particularly in Medellin. As a disclaimer, I want to tell you, each and every notaria is different. They're not the same. So my experience might be a bit different than what your experience is. So, but more than likely, it's going to be somewhat the same. So I will give you the breakdown of what I went through and what you got to do. Okay, once again, I want to explain to you guys on how to get married in Colombia. And this is without using a lawyer. So this is just going to the notaria and giving them the documents that you have and doing it yourself. So basically, I could tell you my story is the fact that I've actually lost a lot of money because of the ignorance of not knowing what you need to do. So I actually did the process twice because the first time I found out that the documents needed to be within 30 days. So that's very important. Make sure that the documents that you need, like for you guys who are traveling, going to Colombia to make this happen, make sure that the day that you plan on doing it, you get your documents days ahead of time, a few days, just because of the fact that, you know, the notaria that I went to, they said it needs to be within 30 days. I looked at it online now. Some places are saying within 30 to 60 days, but I will still try to keep it as close as possible because, like I said, each notaria is very different. So the documents that you need, well, sorry, let me bring it back a little bit. To start the process, what you want to do is your bride, you want her to go to the notaria and start it. And there's some documentation that she needs. So first, she needs to get a copy of her cedula, which is her ID. Secondly, she needs to get a most recent copy of her birth certificate. It needs to be notarized. So from what I've read, basically the birth certificate needs to be within 30 days. When we did it, I think it was within 30 days because when I did the process, it was relatively about 2 years ago. March would actually be our 2-year anniversary, but nonetheless, I believe it should be about 30 days. Her documentation needs to be, as well as if she has a child, she would need to file for the child's birth certificate as well and get that notarized. So that's how the process will start. She'll choose which notaria to go to and all that good stuff. Now for you, so you as a gringo, as an American citizen, this is what you're gonna need. These are the documents. So you're gonna need your valid passport. You're gonna need a birth certificate and a document stating it's like an affidavit of being single. So you'll need to get those documents. And not only do you have to get those documents, but those documents need to be translated, notarized, as well as apostille. Yeah, you need all those documents, and those documents need to be translated. And for me, I use Day Translator. That's a website. You're able to send it to them and they're able to translate it for you within 24 hours, but it's costly. And I wouldn't suggest using them to do the apostille because it's a lot cheaper for you to do it within your state. So basically, if you do the apostille from going to your state or county officials, it's like $2 or $3 per paper. If you go through Day Translation or a third-party vendor, they're going to charge you a lot of money per pages. The way that I found out how to find that, I actually had to do a Google search, and especially in my location, which is in Illinois, Chicago, and that's how I was able to find out how to get it. So I went to Google, and what I did is I did a search for single status affidavit, Illinois, and the first one that came up for me for my actual state is apostilles and certificates. And then from this documentation, you know, this is where you could find out how or where you could go in and find services as far as requesting for your document, as well as getting your apostille completed as well. And like I said, you definitely want to make sure that you go through this path. You don't want to spend the money for third party. You will be spending a lot of money. Not only are you spending money on, you know, getting your documents translated, sometimes you may even have to get you a new birth certificate, a better one than the original one that you have. For me, I actually purchased a new birth certificate. They actually had a deal. I think it was like 2 for $18 or something like that. So I actually purchased 2 birth certificates for myself, the newer ones, because my old one was like extremely old. It was like tattered and really bad. So that's why I got me a new birth certificate, just so that I could make sure I have, you know, most recent documents up to date. So now, once you have all your documentation, this is what you need to do. You need to go to the notaria, and then of course your bride, or your girlfriend, whatever, she's gonna have to talk to them and to try to schedule a time and date for you guys, so you guys can actually get married. And I hate to say this, but sometimes you may have to bribe. She'll know how to do that. Make sure you leave it to her to bribe, because like I said, a lot of these notarias, some of them will give you, some of them will say that basically they're full, they can't do it. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like one of those things, like they want to work but don't want to work. So basically, after you guys put in the documentations and take care of everything, you have to wait, I believe, between 7 and 10 days before you guys can actually get married on the official date that you guys agreed on. I'm not sure why Colombia does that, to make you wait 10 days. I actually just read another document there stating about 15 days. I don't remember waiting 15 days. I think it was only 7 days or so. So for me, during that time, during our waiting period, we actually went to San Andreas, had fun, did what we wanted to. That was like a quick little vacation and everything, and then we came back. So here's the thing, here's the kicker. So we actually had a scheduled appointment to get married, and of course this is at the notaria. This is not an actual, wedding location, not a church, anything like that. This is just civil, marriage. And when you get there, one of the things that they're going to try to get you to do is hire a translator, a person to translate for you. Luckily for me, my Spanish is pretty good. So at first they were trying to get me, they're trying to, deny the wedding. They're like, well, hey, you're not fluent in Spanish. That's not your first language. And, so then I just started talking to them in Spanish, let them know, show them how much knowledge I knew about the Spanish language, and they were able to get by. But if you're someone who can't speak Spanish or doesn't speak Spanish pretty well, I suggest that, hey, you're gonna have to order someone, a translator for you. Of course, I wouldn't even suggest you even getting married to someone, especially if you can't speak Spanish. That's just a recipe for disaster. So I wouldn't even suggest that at all. But due to the fact that I know how to speak Spanish, everything was fine. So one thing you also want to add is that, before I forget, is the fact that you also need a witness. So I actually had one of my friends be there during the actual ceremony, and that's needed for United States of America. They want to make sure that this wedding is actually official. So I actually had one of my good friends, my good buddies. He was there with me with his wife, and she had a couple of her friends, the family, and everything. So we were all together there at the notaria, and basically made it happen. The process is that you sign tons of documents, and basically at the end, after he goes through everything, basically the documents that you guys get are the original documents. So you can't lose that document. Don't ever lose that document because they give you the original, and the notaria, they keep copies of the original. So the way that Colombia does it with the documentations, I don't know, it's strange how they do it. They give you the original and they keep copies. It's not like they go pull it from database. They're still doing stuff from like the Stone Age of, having the actual physical documents. Nothing is actually electronic, which I don't get it, but it is what it is. So again, just wanted to tell you guys. So what you need and what your brides need is that she needs her birth certificate. She needs her cedula, a copy of that. And then for you, like I said, you need a valid passport. You'll need your birth certificate. And you also would need documentation stating that you're single. Now, if you're divorced, you'll need your divorce paperwork as well. So just make sure you get all that stuff. It needs to be translated, notarized, and apostille, and you will be okay. And again, this is only if you're not dealing with a lawyer. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about this. For those of you who have questions, please leave those questions for me. I'll try my best at answering whatever questions you guys may have. But this is your boy, the Solo Traveler ORD. Thanks again for checking out another one of my videos. And I'm out.